Secondary break. Graham Bunn, former D1 point guard. Got my two guard here, Zach Talitsky. All things Carolina men's basketball and recapping. Now, we dropped a tough one tonight. UNC goes down at Syracuse, 86-79. We fall to 11-3. We are still on top of the ACC standings. Duke is currently at 10-3. Syracuse climbs up to 7-7. Yeah, it was a tough one. It was a tough one. I'm looking forward to hearing your keys to the game, what you thought, where you sit, how you feel for the rest of the season. Because I'm a little shell shocked right now. I was worried about it, and I know the Carrier Dome where Syracuse plays. If anybody doesn't know much about, you're playing in a football field, and usually for me, I'm concerned about the shooting. I don't think the shooting is what cost us tonight, but looking forward to hearing how you feel. What are you thinking? On a positive note, UVA drops one. They lose to Pitt at home, so they dropped to 10-4. So we still have a one-game lead, knowing that we have to go there. That's the only silver lining right now as far as the ACC standings go.
Well, before we get into the specifics of this game, it feels to me like this team started the year, with like a hunger and a drive, and we were playing great defensively and focused on every possession. And we got up to 3 in the country and we beat Duke. And everyone's talking about us being a 1 seed. And now the team seems like they won something.
Mm-hmm.
And someone needs to let them know that they haven't won anything. They haven't accomplished anything yet. And we either have to get back to that type of hunger and desire and playing with a chip on our shoulder like we did earlier in the year, or we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand it. I don't understand why that focus and that energy is missing. I don't understand why Baycott played the way he did tonight and the way he's played, largely for the last month or two, except for a couple of games. This is a team that we out rebounded, a month ago by, I think, 20, and, did not have an impact on the boards at all tonight. Did not punish them for being a small team, did not take advantage of our strengths. Allowed them to shoot. I'll have to pull up the stats here in a second, but I think we allowed them to shoot over 60% for the game.
Over 60.
Nearly 50% from 3. At the half, and you're like, okay, they're shooting 60%. We're clearly going to come out hungry and focused, and that'll come down in the second half. Didn't come down at all.
Didn't.
So, they're going to have to wake up. I mean, they're going to have to wake up, and they're going to have to decide, do we want to win an ACC championship or not? I mean, they have something special in front of them. I consider that a very special achievement.
Yeah. Especially coming off of, last year.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's still there for the taking, but not like this. Not like this. And we haven't played well, except for the Duke game now going on, I don't know, over a month, I think.
Yeah,
I guess
almost a month. Yeah, almost
a month. Sure. So I'm frustrated. I really am. I thought more than anything, just the effort tonight, and we did not make them feel us at all on the defensive end. You knew they were going to throw zone at us. The way the first game played out, we didn't really look prepared for that. And so we've played 2 teams now twice, Clemson and Syracuse. We've lost both games. Both teams, I think, made much better adjustments from game 1 to game 2 than we have. So that concerns me. So you may have to be the one to carry the load tonight and talk me off the ledge, because I'm trying not to be ranty, but that was a frustrating game.
Yeah, it was a tough one to watch. And the only, I mentioned silver lining. The only silver lining that I can feel coming out of this game is back against the wall now. I mean, I feel like the losses that we've had, I know someone will one day go undefeated, but for the most part, you're not going to go undefeated. And games happen and bad games happen. But some of the things that you were talking about, I thought were glaringly obvious today. And I think it filters down even from Hubert's standpoint as far as effort and competing and executing game plan as far as getting on the boards, going through your strengths. Baycott's a fifth-year guy. This is a game where I felt like he could really impact the outcome of the game, win or lose, on the boards, and he didn't. And I'm not saying that we would have won had he played better or had he been more physical or had we punished them a little bit more physically and try to get to the line and really gotten a bunch of paint touches. Who knows what the outcome was? But that loss, had we done those things and the guys competed and they just didn't shoot well or things that they couldn't control happened. Now, I will say there was some flukes. There was a couple of huge, massive threes that changed the dynamic of the game. Sometimes you're like, oh, it's just not our night. That kid throwing in, he dribbles off his foot and throws in a 40-footer off the backboard. That three, to beat the shot clock was a backbreaker for me. I was like, oh, man. Sometimes as a player, you feel like, well, it's not going to be our night. But I just feel like it's Hubert time. Like, kids are showing up late to shoot around. Like, how is this stuff going to be handled? We need effort. We need leadership. And I think now more so than ever, we're going to see if we have it or not, because I don't think you can sleep on anyone else. I just don't think. How many times do you touch the stove before you realize, yeah, it'll burn me? It's hot. We've gotten stung a few times now. And I just feel like now there's no more shockers. There's no more surprises. And I think someone needs to remind our program, myself included, we missed the tournament last year after being ranked number 1 preseason. Never been done before in a negative way. So I think a lot of it has to do with not X's and O's. I'm sure there's some things that the coaching staff's going to want to address, but I think a lot of it's going to be, what do you guys want? Because it's all here. The talent's here. But what do you guys want? Because I didn't see it tonight. I didn't see a team that was like, all right, we're going to kill these guys, get this game over with quick, and get back to Chapel Hill. I just didn't see that.
That's right. I mean, it's going to be up to the players from this point on to decide what kind of season they want to have. Mm-hmm. And it's still there for the taking. That's the good news. Mm-hmm. But no, it's hard to watch the game tonight and feel like this team is dialed in and ready to make a run to do something meaningful.
Yeah, losing 3 out of 5 after the start we had is it's just a shocking stat to think about. We've lost 3 out of 5,
Yeah, and Georgia Tech and Syracuse aren't good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
And Clemson was at home.
Right. Yeah, after beating Duke in what was a very distracting week and hard to focus, and anything can happen in that game, we took care of business, and then we've just looked really flat. There was some things in the game where, I loved the Elliott Cadeau in the middle of the zone and making plays. I love some of the things they were doing. Carmack Ryan played his tail off. There were a few costly errors and mistakes and, plays that were made that I think affected the outcome of the game. But I think it's all an effort thing. I just feel like we're a better team, and we just didn't establish ourselves early of like, okay, we're going to get this game over with. We're not even going to let this be in question. And I think they led the entire game. I think they led the entire game. I don't know. We took the lead for a few minutes, I think.
Yeah, we were up by 1 when he banked in that 40-footer with 6:40 remaining. I mean,
but for the most part, they led the whole time. For the most part, they led the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, we're tied at halftime. Mm-hmm. With them shooting 62% from the field or whatever it was, with RJ having 3 points. And so, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, we sleptwalked through the first half, but, we let them get up by 10. We closed it back down. And so, we're sort of in a good position, despite the fact that we didn't really show up to play.
Yeah.
And again, in the second half, then we come out and I think we start 0 for 8. So we sleepwalk into the beginning of the second half. They get up by whatever it was, 9 again. We fight our way back, take the lead. Then at that 6:40 mark, that guy banks it in. I made a note, like, is this just going to be a replay of the Georgia Tech game? But again, that was a 6:40. There's still plenty of time, left, even though they retake the lead there. Mm-hmm. It's very concerning. We've mentioned this on prior broadcasts, but our execution down the stretch continues to be awful. I mean, we
Used to
just
be a
turned the
strong
ball
point.
over. Yes.
Used to
Yes.
be a strong point.
And now, we turned the ball over 3 straight possessions. You know, Cormac on that one, we get the rebound. He allows the guy to kind of come in and knock it off his leg. You got to be strong with the ball. They miss again. He allows his guy to get another offensive rebound.
That was the
And
play
then,
where it changed my outcome of he had a good game. I was like, man, this is just back to back. Like, we need the ball. You got to secure the ball there, but tough.
he had 5 turnovers. It seemed like he had 15. And I don't know if they gave him a turnover for that last one where he made that terrible pass to Baycott that then got knocked off of his leg out of bounds. I don't know who they gave that turnover to. But anyway,
5 turnovers is not great. That is for sure. I mean, he shot it decent, so that's a silver lining. He shot it decent, and I've been on his back about it, so I'm going to give him credit there.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, 4 of 11. I mean, that's again, but a lot of those were wide open.
But that's what we signed up for. Like the 4 of 9, I thought that's what we were getting on a consistent basis. I never thought I would have come before the season. I thought I'd never come on any kind of recap show being
4-11. Yeah. 4-11 was RJ, not Cormac. Sorry.
Yeah, Carmac's 4 of 9 from 3. I don't know what he was from the field. He was 6 of 14, which, for almost 40%. Yeah. But 4 of 9, I never would have thought, man, I'll take 4 of 9. For Cormac Ryan's getting kick out threes and feet set. I'd love to see that 5 out of 9, 6 out of 9, because they're naked shots. It's just a different type of three that you're getting. So I think it's reflective of our expectations now for him. That 4 out of 9, you're like, man, all right, we'll take it. He shot the ball well.
Yeah. I thought Cadeau played very well. I mean, 7 assists, 1 turnover. He actually was +3, ± tonight. Made a 3. He short-armed a couple in the lane. But I thought that was the best adjustment that the coaching staff made in the entire game against the zone, was putting him in the middle so he could make plays. I mean, he had those like back-to-back reversals to Ingram and then Cormac for open threes. He had like multiple little dump downs to Baycott.
He was great. He was great.
No, I thought we needed a lot more variety in our attack against the zone. I mean, I remember back in the day, like we would back screen and we'd have dunks against the zone, lobs. Like we had zero of those. I feel like we had no game plan to get Baycott going in the zone. We weren't cross screening at all.
I mean,
and then
when
he was catching the ball,
go ahead.
I was going to say, when he was catching the ball, he wasn't looking to score or to be aggressive for some reason.
Yeah, Baycott is an enigma right now to figure out. I was just going to say, so when I was in college, we ran the Carolina system, and we had at least 6 set plays against the zone. I didn't see any of them, none of them tonight. Now, again, maybe Hubert went away from that stuff. I know Roy used to still run some of the B series and some of the things that I could actually be like, oh, I know what's about to happen here. Like, I've seen this. You can look at it on tape and they've called a play. But I didn't see it tonight. So I don't know, if Hubert has changed that up. Now, the Baycott thing, one silver lining is I thought Jalen Washington, I know he hit a 3 and he had a couple deflections on defense, but I thought that he played well in the limited amount of time that he was given. It's hard for me. I don't know how to appraise Baycott's game. I thought he would impose his will more, but is it lack of opportunity? Is it lack of, demanding the ball? Is he trying to be too much of a team player? Because last year there was some issues with certain players kind of maybe putting their thumbprint too much on the game plan. I'm at a loss right now. This is the first time I've ever done this where I didn't know whether to be depressed, upset, disappointed, worried that things aren't going to turn around. Like, I don't know where to go from here. That was baffling to watch. It felt like we were sleepwalking, like we just played a scrimmage.
I wish I could play a basketball game where I was 3 inches taller and had 50 pounds on everybody else on the court and see what I could do. Yeah. But I think
good point.
I think I would do something.
Yeah, you do something. Yeah, it didn't look good, man. I again, we could harp on it and we can tear this one apart. We don't have to. I think maybe it'll be a little bit more enjoyable. I'm already sick to my stomach to talk about what's moving forward. Now, what about Trimble? We get Trimble back, and I don't know, just it didn't feel his impact at all. Also, I know it's a scouting report thing. I don't know what the thing, Judah Mintz is a talented player, but he's not a great 3-point shooter. Why are we pressing up towards half court and letting him just drive down the lane to his strength of getting inside the 3-point line? Why? I just don't understand why we were guarding him that way.
Well, our defense against their guards was terrible. And this is going to be a continuing theme for the rest of the year. I mean, this is going to be how teams try to attack us, particularly if they have guards with any size, and most teams do. And we're going to have to figure out a way to adjust, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, I think, in the coming weeks. But, this sort of ISO, high pick and roll, in the middle of the floor with guards, either on RJ or Cadeau or both. But we couldn't find any answers for their guards. I mean, Cormac wasn't staying in front. Even Trimble, who normally is able to take his guy away, maybe he's a little bit rusty. He didn't really seem to have much of an impact defensively, which most games that isn't the case.
Right.
So yeah. In the second half, we finally adjusted and we started doubling it, when they did the high pick and roll, and that allowed us to get back in it a bit. But I felt like we then stuck with that too much, and that became predictable. I would like to see us, have 2 or 3 different options and maybe, change it up over the course of the game. So it's not so easy for the other team to get in a rhythm against what it is that we're trying to do against that action, because we know we're gonna keep seeing it.
We're gonna see a lot of it.
And look, you got to give them credit. I mean, they made a bunch of mid-range jump shots. And to a certain degree, you like to give up mid-range jump shots, but we let them get to the rim too much, and then they did shoot the ball well. Even some guys who I think aren't statistically great shooters.
Correct. There was some statistical anomalies tonight that favored Syracuse heavily. The beginning of the game, the big knocking down, he's like a
25%.
20, I think he's 27% 3-point shooter. He knocks down 2 of 2 to start the game. Like Baycott's giving him the 3 and he knocks him down like they were nothing. So
but we shot 44% from 3. You think that's typically good enough to win. But we lost the 3-point battle there. They shot 47%. But I mean, we're going to have to find it again.
If you're Hubert, you're walking into the locker room, what do you say? I know that's a tough one. Because I would say exactly what you already said. That would have been my thing that I'd beg Hubert to say, hey, it's up to you guys. Like, I can't play for you.
What at the end of the year, I want you guys to spend the next 10 minutes in silence. And I want each of you to envision how the rest of the season is going to play out and what it is that you want to have to accomplish this year and what you want to experience as a team.
Yeah.
And then you got to ask yourself, when we were on track to accomplish those things, what were we doing? And then what are we doing now?
Yeah.
And he can't look, could he have coached this game better? Maybe, I am concerned again that the 2 teams we played twice, they seem to have adjusted better than we have. And maybe that's on Hubert. But, ultimately, if a team shoots 60-something% against you, it's because, you aren't doing what you need to do to make them feel you on the defensive end.
Sure.
And we, watching the game, that a lot of those looks were open looks.
Yeah.
And then when you have that type of size advantage and you don't make the other team pay and leverage that advantage, that's effort. And that's focus. And then when you've got what is Baycott now, a 5th or 6th year guy, who's a preseason All-American, who has that type of physical advantage, and he plays that passively. And he wasn't playing that passively in a game where we had it in hand, and so he's just coasting and letting other guys get theirs. Like, we needed him.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm Hubert Davis, I'm telling somebody in the AV department, I want you to put together a montage of everyone that was talking shit about us last year, how the program's dead. I'm not the guy. The team's not, they need to overhaul the entire program. And I'm making a highlight film of everybody that doubted, everybody that doesn't believe, and says, look, I want to remind you guys, it wasn't long ago. All these people that are telling you you're so great now, they weren't telling you that 10 months ago. This was one of the most embarrassing things the program's ever had to endure, of not making the tournament after being preseason number one. These same people are the ones that are patting on your back. You can't believe these people. The only people that can affect what happens on that floor are in this locker room. So you take a look at yourself and figure out who wants to win, because I want to win. And the players that want to win, you're going to play. The rest of you, hey, this is about the university. This is about the staff. This is about the trainers. This is about everybody that works for this program getting the job done. And I think that's the bottom line. And that's the message you convey. And whoever responds positively and comes ready to work at practice the next day, I think that you'll see a different program walk out on the floor. My concern is our leadership strong enough to maintain, okay, we drop one at Georgia Tech, we come out and we play great against Duke and we win. Right back to not playing great again. No. We need to make a decision, make a choice to get back to doing the things that made us successful and do them consistently, not just when we felt, we got stung. Oh, our back's against the wall. We better play good this game. We need to show up every day, put the hard hat on, and get to work.
I mean, who are the leaders of this team?
I would have said RJ and Baycott, but Baycott's, I don't know if you saw some of the facial expressions, and we'll cut this. We're going to do this another three minutes max, but his facial expressions on the bench tonight was like he was in a daze. Now, maybe he's got some other stuff going on. I pray that he doesn't. I hope that he's not distracted by something bad going on at home or anything. Obviously, we all have lives, and sometimes you show up to work and you're just not there. But he looked like he was in a daze. I didn't see any real emotion out of Baycott tonight. And the more that I watch this team, my favorite player is Harrison Ingram, because he's the only one that I continuously feel like he's engaged in the game, and like he cares about the out. Like he gets upset or he starts celebrating. Like I feel emotion on both sides of the coin when something bad happens and when something good happens. And so I just wish everyone, again, I'm talking like a fan, like it doesn't matter what I would like, but I enjoy seeing the guys when they, a play happens, that I can see that they care about the outcome of that play.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, and RJ has been a leader all year as well. Mm-hmm. He's going through a little bit of a rough stretch now in terms of efficiency.
Yeah.
But Baycott, he's got to step up and be a leader of this team too. Mm-hmm. And right now it just doesn't seem like he has that kind of body language or consistent effort. I mean, he's always been a high motor guy, and I just I don't know if he's not feeling well, something else is going on. He didn't seem to be running quite right tonight, so I don't know. Maybe he's carrying a bit of an injury. But if that's the case, when Jalen got in, he played very well, and he only got 9 minutes. And so if he's not, if he's not 100%, like let's get Jalen some run. I still don't understand why Withers isn't getting any run. He had 4 points in 7 minutes. It just seems like he could have been a difference maker against that zone. He's very good, I think, at cutting, in the back line and finishing in traffic.
Yeah, baseline cuts and finishing around the rim. That's his thing.
Yeah. And, he didn't – I noticed in, like, the last 30 seconds, he hadn't even taken off his warm-up in the second half, so I don't think he got in the second half. So
I mean, we only went 8 deep. We only went 8 deep tonight.
Yeah. I mean, the first game, those three guys, Trimble, Washington, and Withers, had 30. Tonight they had 10, combined. Yeah. So I don't know. I get that the bench, gets the minutes get tighter as the season goes along, but I still think we're better with those three guys playing, more minutes. So I don't totally understand that decision.
Yeah, dropping 3 out of 5. I think there would be a lot of people that agree with you. All right, moving forward, we're going to wrap it up, but we got Virginia Tech at home. It's a 2 p.m. Eastern Standard tip-off, 11 a.m. where I'm at. Virginia Tech's a tough team. They got great guards. I feel like when you have great guards, anything can happen. And, they're definitely a better team in my eyes than Syracuse is.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah,
how
absolutely.
So how you feeling? Because I don't feel great.
I think it's more about us than them. And saying that, I'm not taking anything away from them.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
It's just at home, if we play the way that we can and should play, it's a game we should win. I went from having, built up all of this confidence that from game to game, I knew what we were going to get. I knew we were going to play hard. I knew we were going to be focused on every possession, to having no idea what team is going to show up anymore. And that's happened very quickly. So I don't really know what to expect. Hopefully we can just chalk this up to having back-to-back road games and having to travel from Miami to Syracuse, from a Saturday to a Tuesday. This year, I think they said on the broadcast that top 10 teams on the road have a losing record overall. First time since like 79 or something. So this is happening across the country, but the energy tonight, I mean, it just was not there. And so that's what I'm looking for on Saturday. Win or lose is man, I'd love to see us lock in again. I'd love us to bring the energy that we had earlier in the year and see where the chips fall.
Yeah, I'd love a blowout heading into the game at Virginia, which is looming large now. Looks like that game is going to determine a lot that has to do with the ACC regular season championship. So definitely not overlooking any game. Every game counts now, but we're dropping some and we're costing ourselves a lot of stress and a lot of headaches, but hopefully we right the ship. Again, I think a lot of this has to do with, one, the players, what they really want, and two, I think Hubert, for the first time in his career, well, maybe the second time, whatever adjustment where Manic started just going crazy and we made that run to end the season and made the title run. I think Hubert put his foot down and made some changes, and some things happened in the locker room that kind of galvanized the team. I think this is another moment where we need Hubert to be a great leader. And I believe in Hubert. Everyone that I know that knows Hubert, the phrase leader of men comes up. So I got to place my faith that he's going to make the right adjustments, because I think it's an attitude in energy type correction. I don't think it's I know we want the bench to play more. I guess that's an X's and O's thing. But for me, I think wins and losses now are going to be determined by how motivated he can get the players to be, or get them to open their eyes and see we're about to squander something that could have been really, really special. And I'm just talking about the regular season and the conference tournament. Who knows what's going to happen in March? Like my mind's not even there now. But people remember conference championships. People talk about regular season championships. People talk about raising banners and winning championships. And so I don't think we get any of that done if there's not a course correction when it comes to people's mental and emotional approach to games, no matter if it's Duke or if it's Georgia Tech. It's ACC play now, and we need every single game we can get.
Yeah, and it starts the defensive end and rebounding. I mean, that's when we made the pivot after the Kentucky and UConn losses, and we have to get back to that. I mean, the games where we win, you can tell, like, the other team's uncomfortable. They're not getting easy shots. We're getting hands on loose balls. We're getting steals. We're getting out and running and pushing. And we're winning the rebounding battle by, 10 plus. It's not hard to figure out the winning formula for this team. The question is, are we going to work hard enough on a consistent basis to do that?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, again, I know it's past and it's old news, but it does linger in my mind. Guys missing practice or showing up late, like this late into the season, multiple guys, and then we lose a home game at Clemson. It's just I feel like we're not privy to it because we're not in the building, but there's bigger issues that are surrounding this team's performance than X's and O's, and that's concerning. That's concerning.
The team looks satisfied.
Yeah.
This is not
bad. Bad, buddy. It's bad. It's not good. It's what they say. It's just not good. Not good. All right. We got a game Saturday. I got to go take my mind off of this. I'm just not in a good space. I tried to be as non-negative as possible. I would love for you to tell me that I did a good job because I'm not in a good place. I need some positive reinforcement right now.
You did a great job. You carried us. You carried us today. I'm sorry for being ranty, but
I love it.
That game pissed me off.
I love when you get a wild hair, man. It makes I'm in a much better mood than I was 30 minutes ago. Go Heels.
Go Heels.